Hey guys, and it's Scrappy Coco here, and this is gonna be a Jad guide. Okay, let's start off by the gear you're gonna want to have. If this is your first time doing it, um, you shouldn't even attempt to do it with melee. But if you want, you can try. But I'm not gonna be covering melee on this guide. Okay, so for mage gear, you're gonna want to have, if you can have, if you have the levels required, you're gonna want full Ganadormic, and that's really helpful because as you can see here, it absorbs magic by 53%, so there's no need for prayer switching while you're on Jad's wave. You can just tank out the mage hits and just pray range. Polypore staff, make sure it's fully charged before you start so you won't run out. Fury would work. I have a glory I'm using a glory because I don't have a fury. Any god cape, I have Saradomin. I guess you can use a Soul Wars cape too. Zamorak book, if you have all the pages, it's really helpful. And out of all the books, this is the best one to use. Uh, Mystic boots and Mystic gloves, you can use Infinity boots or Infinity gloves. I think there's Infinity gloves, I'm not sure, but this can be swapped out for other stuff, maybe Wizard boots. Explore Rings 4 just gives the one prayer bonus, and I don't have a Sears ring, so I just use that. And yeah, this is the setup I use to get a fire cape, and it's really good. And for Genadormic, it's 85 magic and defense, and those are not that hard to get. You can just alch to 80, do high alch for 85 magic, doesn't take too long. And other setup other method you can do for Jad is range. So here's a example of like the gear you can have with you. Um, you can have a Alva's accumulator is probably a must. Any Alva's device, again Fury or Glory. Um, Archer's helm, or you can get Armadillo helm lent from your friend. Or you can also use the Helm of Neatizot for the prayer bonus it gives, but it's a little less ranged bonus. Zamorak book is also the best book to have. You can also use the Spirit Shield. Uh, Carol's is pretty good. You can, if you can't afford it, I guess you can use Black D'hide, and if you can afford it, Armadillo is even better. Snakeskin boots, and I use Spiky Van Braces. Rune crossbow, chaotic crossbow works even better. And as for the ring, warrior ring I think is the one for range. That's better than this, but again I don't have one. So yeah. As for your inventory, it matters what you're doing. If you're doing mage, I would suggest having one Vecna skull, which is basically kind of like a infinite magic potion, and it basically boosts your magic by um I'm not sure how many levels, but I think it's 5 because when I used it, it brought me to 90 magic and I'm 85 magic right now. And yeah, it's really helpful and you can use it every 7 minutes, I believe. So basically just you can use it the entire time. And then you're gonna want to have maybe like 3 prayer renewals. Uh, Prayer renewals aren't really that necessary, but I just take them. 3 prayer renewals. Maybe let's say 10. I would say 11 to 12 Ceridome brews, and the rest just have um, super restores. And make sure they're all flasks, because if you don't have flasks, that's not good. And as for the prayer renewals, instead of those, you can maybe bring an extra Ceridome brew and 2 extra super restores. And as for a range setup, inventory, it's gonna be about the same except instead of the Vecna skull, just bring a range flask and just use it on Jad's wave. And if you find that it's too hard for um, around wave 58, just maybe use a dose there. And also for the bolts, you can Ruby bolts E are really good. Um, and as for Jad, bring I would say bring like 1k Ruby bolts enchanted and 500. You don't need 500, but I when I tried it with Ranger, I brought 500 diamond bolts enchanted just for Jad's wave because that really helps against Jad. And yeah, but it's gonna cost a bit, but I mean, if you can't afford it, bring broad bolts instead and just bring diamond bolts enchanted for Jad's wave. And yeah, I myself did the fight caves once, like successfully, and it's because I used Ganodermic. I'm not that good at um, prayer switching, so that's why I got the levels for Ganodermic. And every method you use besides Ganodermic, you're gonna need to prayer switch. So yeah, I didn't prayer switch because I was using Ganodermic, but yeah. So yeah, this is the gear you're gonna wanna have, and yeah, the next clip is gonna be me just doing Jad's wave using Ganodermic. I'm back with the clip of me doing Jad. So that's the safe spot you should all know about before you go out to do the fight caves. And it's basically the area in the south is the best spot, and you should probably be there for the entire fight caves. And it's basically safe from Jad spawn, except if Jad spawns to the south of you, then you have to be really careful to put your prayers on to the correct prayers, or else you can easily one hit you. So once you're ready and prepared to go out and fight Jad, you're gonna want to just, if you're using Ganodermic, pray range, and if you're not using Ganodermic, put one of the prayers on and go out and look at his attack. If he stomps his feet on the ground, that means it's a range attack. For example, the attack he did when he lifts his hands up is a mage attack, and then the when he stomps his feet is a range attack. So yeah, if you're using Ganodermic like me, you're gonna wanna like attack Jad, and then when you see him doing a mage attack, just run to where I did like a few seconds ago, and brew up so you don't uh, like die from a second mage attack, and drink some restore to bring your stats back up, and then like see what I did right there. If Jad can hit like I think um 450 or around something around there if you're using Ganodermic. And just to be safe, you should always just like go back there and hide. And see right there, if he the first one, if I didn't tank the first hit, I could have easily been dead. So yeah, so just keep doing that. Make sure to, and if you're prayer switching, make sure to use the right prayer and not panic. Just stay calm. And yeah, my stats while I was, and it's my current stats actually, 85 magic and defense aren't probably the best for doing Jad using Ganodermic, because I mean 85 defense is the bare minimum for Ganodermic, and it's recommended to have 90 plus stats before you try Ganodermic. But as you can see here, it's easily you can easily be done with the minimum stats required for Ganodermic. So just be ready, keep attacking Jad, make sure your stats are all up. Keep an eye on your prayer, make sure it doesn't go low. And as you can see now, the healer spawned. So if you're using Ganodermic, just keep attacking the healers and brewing up. You don't need to use restores because all you need to do is just get one hit on the healers and they're off Jad. And yeah, um, if you're not using Ganodermic, make sure to attack one healer, then look at Jad's attack and change your prayer, and then attack another healer and keep doing that until you got all the healers on you. And yeah, since here I got only two healers on me, which was good. I didn't have to deal with the other two healers. They were just trapped behind Jad. And since I was safe from Jad, I just prayed melee, took care, and started attacking the healers. And the healers can actually heal each other, I think. So it might take a. It doesn't take that long to kill them, but for some reason I was just missing them. And then once you're done with the healers, just go back to attacking Jad. And another thing you should be sure is not to let the healers heal Jad back to full health, or else you're gonna have to deal with the healers again. And in my case, if that happened, I was gonna be out of supplies and I was probably gonna die. Because I'm not good at prayer switching, and I was gonna have to rely on that to finish Jad, and that wasn't gonna be good. But luckily, they didn't get back to they didn't get Jad back to full health, which I mean, unless you really take too long to attack the healers, then that shouldn't be a problem. But not since I now killed all the healers, I can just put my range protect from range back on and continue attacking Jad. And just make sure to hide when you if you're using Ganodermic, make sure to hide after each mage attack because you can easily get two hit. Um, yeah, so it's pretty simple. If you're using Ganodermic, you shouldn't have any trouble. Uh, you basically don't need to prayer switch at all with Ganodermic unless you run out of supplies. And if you are prayer switching, just you always have to concentrate and not panic. Another tip I can give you is like sometimes when you see Jad, sometimes kind of tricks you into thinking he's gonna do a mage attack, but he actually does a range attack. So you always have to be like fully concentrated and have no distractions. And I myself did it without sound, but I think sound might help a little bit by knowing the attacks. And yeah, for the inventory, as you see here, I run out of brews while attacking Jad, and I get lucky that he doesn't do as many mage attacks, and I'm able to finish him off. And this is the first time I actually did Jad, and it was my sixth attempt. My first two attempts were with Mystic, and I was prayer switching, and I failed both times when the healers came because I just lost concentration onto Jad attacks. And the next two times I did use Ganodermic, but I ran out of supplies, so I had to prayer switch, and yeah, that didn't go well. The fifth time I used ranged, and I was about to kill Jad. I was prayer switching. I was doing a great job. I was about to kill Jad, probably maybe one or two hits, most likely one, and I lagged, and he one hit me with ranged. So I was really mad about that. And then this was my sixth attempt, and it was pretty easy. It didn't take too long. But the thing is, I'm gonna try to get maybe two more fire capes. One for fight kiln when I decide to do it and have decent stats for it, and two extra ones just in case I die and lose one. And yeah, but I'm not planning on doing it soon because the uh today's Sunday and Saturday I've spent like the entire day. I attempted Jad three times, and I was like really kind of pissed off that I kept dying. And then this was my first attempt of today, and I finally did it. And yeah, I was really happy about that. And right now you can see me getting low on supplies, and Jad still has quite a bit of health left. Um, he's almost at half health still, and I'm getting low on Ceridome and Bruise. That's why, as you can see, I have a lot of restores left. So you may want to bring, instead of like 11 Ceridome and Bruise, bring like 13, maybe even 14 if you would like, just to be safe. Because I always, every time I do Jad, I always end up having enough super restores. And here it was really close. Like if I hadn't took the first sip of Sardome Brew, I was done for sure. But and sometimes you can just get lucky, and he can keep doing range attacks, and you're protecting from range, so it's like really easy. And like the higher your mage level, it's makes it much easier and safer, cause like it was taking me a while to kill him, and that just makes your supplies go down more. And like as you can see here, he's like really close to dying, and I keep missing, and he keeps doing mage attacks. So like he does a mage attack there that hits me good, and then I fail at hiding, and he does another mage attack, which gets me, and then I like yeah, I just got lucky that he didn't do another mage attack. At this moment, I was like, please don't do a mage attack, please don't do a mage attack, please don't do a mage attack, and I was getting ready to prayer switch in case he did, but luckily I got him, and yeah, I got my first fire cape, and I got really excited because it was like my first fire cape ever, and yeah. And you get a fire cape and 16k toko when you finish. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and good luck doing